It's late night. It's Formula One, and we're ready for qualifying in the United States. I am hyped for this one, mainly because I've been plying myself with sugar. It's past my bedtime, and I'm well up for some Formula One action, especially because it just seems that everybody's having a new engine this weekend. Alonso has been added to the list, obviously, the Renault engine that the Alpine team runs. So little bit of a strange one, not linked obviously to the Mercedes issues that they're having with theirs, but Russell changed his engine, Bottas with a new ICE. Who else was it? Sebastian Vettel changing up his also. And by the way, Red Bull have been quickest in practice since FP1. What's going on? What's going on? Hello there, Smag, mate. You're right. Awkward qualifying timing. Yeah, it is a little bit for the us guys in Europe, but I suppose for everyone else who's sort of on the other side of the world, it's quite nice for them. They don't have to get up stupidly early or stupidly late. Apart from Manev, who's it's 2 a.m. where he is. He's committed though. I appreciate the fact that you're committed. I feel like this could degrade very quickly into just absolute nonsense from me because this is the kind of time I'm usually, winding down or maybe putting together like the final touches on a video, but usually at this point I'm not speaking to anybody. I'm just sitting, listening to something, editing something, putting together images maybe for a stream, or finishing up a lesson that I need for school the next day. Like I am not in a coherent mindset at this time of the evening usually, and it's only 9:30. I'm an early riser. Generally speaking. So I think I'd much rather like a 3 a.m., 4 a.m. race than a 10 p.m., 11 p.m. race. But it's only qualified, so we can just, it's only an hour, get ourselves ready and set to go. Let's sort of talk through various little bits and pieces. I'll pop the Drivers' Championship up there. Formula One is better than sleep, most definitely. It's well worth our while staying up, watching some Formula One. I've been trying to like stave off the tiredness. I've got some randoms, not a sponsor, that I'll be snacking on throughout the qualifying session, as well as I was just on Twitch, just playing some games, trying to keep up the energy a little bit. Timothy's happy though. He's in the US, so it's lovely, lovely time to be a Formula One fan if you're in the US, especially with Mexico coming up, Brazil coming up as well. Connor's in the chat, Timothy's back. Hello, lads. How are we doing? Are we ready for some qualifying? Because Red Bull, as I was just saying, have been quicker in free practice 2 and in free practice 3. Max Verstappen leads the championship, and all of this controversy and contention about, oh, has Hamilton got to have a penalty because of his engine at some point this season? Oh, a Mercedes going to be penalised for this rear suspension drop that we've been seeing. Lots of controversy over that. Put together a really quick video this afternoon. Should probably check in on that video because I haven't had the opportunity to. Just slotted a video into it. When is the birthday stream? 21st of November. I can't remember. Is it Mexico or is it Brazil? I can't remember now. It's bad, isn't it? There is a race. There is a race. And we will have to do something. It's Qatar. Oh, it's not even a good one. We've got Mexico, then Brazil, then Qatar. And Qatar is the birthday stream. So we've still got 3 races between now and then. Hello, mate. Back again for this. That's what we like to see. We're building up a lovely little community. People pop in whenever they fancy. I feel like we're going to have a bit of a weird... It's going to be like the die-hard fans today, isn't it? Because it's going to be pretty awkward times for most people that watch the stream usually. So Manev, I massively appreciate staying up 2 a.m. Although Timothy, to be fair, he's usually here and he's in the US. So he's got a good one this week. But we're getting there. What was I saying? Hamilton, yeah, doesn't look too quick in FP2, FP3, considering all this controversy around Mercedes and Toto Wolff having to come out into the press and sort of back his drivers a little bit, and back his team, back his engine, and tell them that, actually none of this is illegal. All of it's under the books. The fact that we're changing the engine, we're always taking the engine penalties, so on and so forth. And then had to talk about, obviously, the flexible suspension that they seem to be having. And that's kind of died down a little bit, although I imagine Christian Horner is rapidly writing an email. We know he loves an email during a Grand Prix after Toto Wolff had his email incident. Let's have a shoey on the birthday. Yeah, probably, to be fair. If Danny Rick is on the birthday, if we get a McLaren podium on my birthday, I think I might just call it a day there. I think that's the end of the streams because it's not going to get any better. Got to get used to these late nights. Yeah, it's that stint now, isn't it? We're going through the stint, the America's stint in Formula One. So it's going to be a few late nighters. 80% of the Formula One, yeah, it is massively European heavy, isn't it? I think that's maybe the only it's a positive for European fans, but I think as Formula One has expanded and become bigger and bigger in various different countries, I think that's the main issue it has with targeting a US market. Formula One have gone on and on this weekend about how Formula One is getting bigger and bigger in the United States, and they're like, "Oh, look how many people are here! Oh, look how big this is." But I think the main issue that comes with Formula One is the fact that it is usually European times, and therefore Americas and Australia in particular, those guys that want to be involved in Formula One, it is a really awkward time for them to get involved. Zeta, it's your birthday? Not today. The Qatar Grand Prix will be the birthday Grand Prix. We'll have all the... Oh! Actually, I do have... Oh, should I wear it today or wear it tomorrow? I got a little piece of old school apparel from a store. I'm gonna go grab it, and you guys can give me your opinion on it, because it's not like an everyday wear, but it is like, it's Formula One-y, and I quite liked it. Let me pop some music on for you, and then I'll go grab it, and then I'll be right back. Now, I'm going to need some opinions, because I'm not 100% sold on it, but I saw it, it gave me Kimi Räikkönen vibes, and I was like, yes, please. It's very like Kimi Räikkönen, Romain Grosjean era. The Lotus, the Renault colours starting to come in, the golds, the blacks, the reds. I was like, little bit. I like that a little bit. Lotus on the back. Being a Lotus boy, being, like a Norwich-centric lad, I thought, gotta get involved in that. So, saw the Lotus one, and thought, gonna have one of those. Gonna have one of those for myself. Feel like my hair's all over the place as well. But yeah, saw that. Gave me Romain Grosjean, Kimi Räikkönen, Lotus vibes, and I was like, I'll take one of those. Also quite rich energy Haas colours too, so could go either way. Could be really good Kimi Räikkönen at Lotus, or go the other way and go for a Haas style colour scheme from the rich energy days. Not so nice. I can't remember. I don't know what season it was from. Was it 2012? Was it 2012? I don't actually know what season that top is from, but I found it and I was like, yeah, why not? I'm going to be doing more and more Formula One stuff over the course of my life, so gonna pick up a little bit more Formula One merch. And I think most people have realized I like Formula One now. Like, I didn't really used to talk to many people about Formula One, because mainly none of my friends are that into it. But now I do this, they know that I do this, and they're like, well, we'll just buy you Formula One stuff for your birthday. So it's going to be, over the next few weeks, you're probably going to see quite a few pieces of apparel coming up for Formula One. Why is Virgil van Dijk on my screen? Oh, he's wishing Max Verstappen good luck. Obviously, both Dutch. Oh yeah, Liverpool playing Man United, aren't they? Good. Rich Energy is coming back. I really hope not, Connor. I know that they keep teasing that they're going to be, and I know that they keep saying, you know, oh, well, we've got a link to a team, blah blah blah. Like Haas cannot be stupid enough to go back there, can they? So it's got to be like a new team that's coming into Formula One, but like Porsche or someone like esteemed like VW isn't going to be like, you know what we need? Rich Energy, the literal like brand that caused Haas to just absolutely dump truck down to the back of the grid, and they're now miles off everybody else. Oh, Man United Liverpool is just before the race. Hello. What a Sunday we've got on our hands tomorrow. Yes, please. Might have to Twitch stream during the Man U Liverpool game. Prediction for Man U Liverpool. Being a Liverpool fan, I feel like I might be quite one-sided. I could feel like a 3-0, 3-1. Mo Salah with a couple of goals, maybe a Jota one in there. I'd quite like it. No, that's not off topic. We can talk football. I don't know much about many other sports. Sort of football, Formula One, and then I drop off quite considerably in sporting knowledge. My hair's annoying me. It's getting to the point now where the hair is gonna... Well, it is going soon. But I'm quite glad it's going. Like, you know what I mean? I was enjoying growing it out. And for a good cause. But, happy birthday. It's not my birthday yet. Who mentioned it? Who mentioned it? I can't remember. What was it? Oh, it was Benev. Benev mentioned it, and now everyone thinks it's my birthday. Not my birthday today. Not my birthday today. Soon. Soon, though. But not yet. How about a watch-along for Liverpool versus Man United? I'm not... I thought, like, originally... Right, here we go. A little bit of an inside scoop. Originally, I was going to make a football YouTube channel. And I put together like the groundwork for a football YouTube channel, but then I can't remember. I decided to like start the Formula One first. Like I had two in mind. I was like, either I'm gonna make a football channel or I'm gonna make a Formula One channel. It was like, and yeah, I don't know how I fell on Formula One first. You know what I mean? Like if I ever got to the point where I could do this full time, I probably would start a football channel as well, because I watch so much football. It'd probably be worth my while to put one together. Got a low-key look going. Yeah, I mean, I'll take that. Tom Hiddleston is not a bad-looking bloke, so I'll enjoy that. Did you enjoy the Chelsea game? What? Absolutely smacking 7 past my home team. Not massively. Wasn't a huge fan of it, but we're getting a little bit sidetracked. We'll talk Formula One for a little while. Where were we? I was talking about Hamilton and Verstappen, obviously very, very close indeed. And actually, it looks like Verstappen might have the edge when it's come to the free practices. You know, free practice 1, Hamilton was miles ahead of everybody else, like 0.9 of a second in front of Verstappen and over a second ahead of everybody else. But then since then, Perez has been really quick. We've had Verstappen look fairly decent as well. But it makes you wonder whether Lewis Hamilton's kind of saving it for the big event. It would be very Hamilton to not quite do it over the course of free practice and then come out in qualifying and just be a second ahead of everybody else. It would be very Hamilton to just come out with a performance like that. I'm also really interested in the Ferraris. Both of the Ferraris really quick in FP3. So interested to see where they'll end up this weekend and if they can qualify well. But again, it worries me. Ferrari are very flip-floppy usually, aren't they? It's one or the other. They never qualify and race well. It's always, oh, they're completely out of position, but they've raced like an absolute dream. Or, my goodness me, they're qualified well. Oh, they're quite slow in the race. Do I think there will be a crash? At some point this season, there's a few crashes that I've got in mind. I think there's going to be a crash between Hamilton and Verstappen again, or at least contact between the two of them again. I think there's going to be one more incident between the two. I don't know if it'll be here, though. I can't think of a corner where... Well, there's lots of wheel-to-wheel corners, obviously, but I can't think of a corner where it properly pinches in, like we saw in Monza. So, quite possibly. Let's have a little look at the track again. Maybe I'm being an idiot. Is there a corner where it properly could, like, pinch in? Because, like, turn 1 is a bit of a hairpinny, but there's quite a lot of space and quite a lot of runoff as well. Yeah, I don't think it will be here. I don't think it'll be here. I think we'll see wheel-to-wheel racing, but I don't think we'll see them actually crash into one another. I think later on in the season, we're probably going to see a collision between the two. I can also very much see a Mazepin-Schumacher collision at some point. I think that that's basically guaranteed. I know that the two of them are teammates, and it really shouldn't happen. But I think, you know, either one of them could get frustrated with the other quite easily and possibly clip the other. And I also think that someone in that midfield is going to have an incident at some point this season. Maybe like an Ocon and a Vettel, or a Stroll and an Ocon, you know, something like that. Confident that Brazil will have a crash. Yeah, I think... Where do you think Hamilton and Verstappen are going to crash, though? I don't think it will be this weekend. I think Hamilton will just be too quick this weekend. Maybe like Abu Dhabi or somewhere like Dubai. It'll be like one of those tracks where it needs a little bit of spicing up. And 2021 has just been the year for delivering race after race after race. It is the top quality. What do you think about Bottas winning the championship because Max and Lewis keep crashing into each other? Wouldn't be able to digest that season. I'm not ready for this. I think that's a no. I think, 100 points is a lot of points to make up. Like, Hamilton and Verstappen would have to smack into each other like 4 or 5 times for Bottas to actually come out on top. And there's only 6 races left to go. Like, I really cannot see them hitting into each other that often. Like, fairly often, not that often. So I think, as much as I'd love to see Bottas get in and amongst the battle for the end of the season, I don't think that's going to happen. Sainz out-qualified Leclerc this season. Yeah, Sainz has out-qualified Leclerc. But I think Leclerc does have the overall better qualifying pace, although you expect that because he's been in the team for a little bit longer and knows the Ferrari a little bit better. Sainz has been really impressive in the races for me. As we're seeing Max Verstappen just go up. There's going to be quite a few instances here where I think we've got deleted lap times because it is very, very close to those limits. Those two will crash again. Yeah, I think so too. Maybe Seb and Lance crashing. Yeah, I can see that. I mean, they came together last time out. Oh no, was it the time before? It was in Russia, wasn't it? They came together on the last couple of laps or so. So Seb and Lance have got a little bit of previous with coming together on track. So that could definitely happen at some point this season. Who else might have a little incident? I think everyone else is fairly clean. Daniel Ricciardo, I think, is, trying his best to make everything count, but the McLaren just doesn't look as quick as it used to, you know what I mean? The McLaren, when we came back from the summer break, the McLaren looked incredibly quick, obviously also winning a race, but hasn't looked as quick as the Ferraris in a couple of races now. So McLaren need to up their game a little bit and boost it back up after obviously Lando Norris was really unlucky to lose out on points, and Ricciardo hasn't got massive amount of points in the last couple of races either. Yeah, they need something, the McLaren boys. I would love to, if Bottas could keep getting penalties every track and see Lando in P3 again. Yeah, Bottas is getting a lot of penalties at this point in time, isn't he? He's had a lot of engines, has Valtteri, and he's probably finished with having different engines put into his car because he's got to be getting frustrated with it. It's every single weekend they're like, Valtteri, would you mind just changing this engine and then this engine and then this part of the powertrain and then this part of the powertrain, just in case, because Lewis's one, if that blows up, that's really important. And also, we're giving engines to Williams and McLaren and Aston Martin, and they all might blow up too. So, not so sure. Constructors' Championship, Mercedes look fairly comfortable. I think they've got that under lock now. I know it's going to be close between Hamilton and Verstappen, but I don't think it's going to be too close between Bottas and Perez. Although Bottas keeps taking those penalties, so maybe, but Bottas has hit some really good form, obviously winning a race for the first time this season as well. So, you know, Bottas I think will be fine and will help them to be clear of the rest when it comes to the end of the season. I think Mercedes will get it. The real interest is third and fourth, right? Alpine, I think, will just have enough to keep hold of fifth place, just because they've got two drivers, whereas it feels like AlphaTauri have only really got one that gets consistent points. So I think Alpine will probably keep their place there. The rest of those guys behind, I can't see shuffling in any way. Like Alfa Romeo, if they can pick up 20 points, I'd be stunned. Like, I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon. And I don't think Haas are going to pick up any points either. So I think we're looking at third and fourth as the only real battle that we've got left in this Constructors' Championship. And as I said, Ferrari looking quicker and quicker. McLaren have had a couple of races where it's not been vintage. So we'll have to wait and see. Taking new engines, affecting the cost cap for Mercedes. It must be, right? There must be a point where... there must be a turning point for Mercedes where they just can't keep replacing these parts anymore. They're going to be very, very close to their cost cap by the end of the season because of this issue. Like, obviously they build in these sort of contingencies. They won't have like spent every single penny because these kind of things happen. But at the same time, they've got to be getting closer and closer to it. Hello, mate. How we doing? Oh God. Fajala Raven? Fajala Raven. I'm sorry, mate. I thank you for popping by. That's what I should say. Over under penalties next weekend for Bottas. Should we get some bet? I reckon there probably is a bet for that, right? On like, I don't know, a betting app. If a betting app wants to sponsor me. Actually, no, I don't want a betting sponsor. I've got Freetrade. I've got Freetrade link if you want to get that in the description down below. I don't think I want to get involved with a betting sponsor, to be honest with you. Why is it only affecting Bottas rather than Lewis? Because Mercedes are choosing to only do it for Bottas rather than for Lewis. I think they're using Valtteri as a bit of a test dummy, possibly. Watch out Valtteri's Instagram story after the weekend. He's going to roast hell out of Mercedes. I am looking forward to possibly when Valtteri Bottas retires and he can talk a little bit more openly about his stint at Mercedes and what it's been like. Because obviously we get to see snippets, and obviously we know that Valtteri has been frustrated at lots of points throughout his Mercedes career. But when it gets to when he actually retires, I think it'd be very, very interesting to get his take on his time at Mercedes, because lots of people have different opinions. I personally think he's done really well at Mercedes, and that there hasn't been the framework for him to do that well, to be honest. And what he has done is won races. He's consistently got points for Mercedes. He's got Constructors' Championships. But I think he'll be a bit frustrated that he was always second fiddle. And I'd love to know his opinion on it. But we won't see that until he retires. By the way, the new graphic designers, thank you very much, mate. Appreciate that, man. I'm putting in the hours in graphic design. Just trying to make the stream look a little bit nicer. Watch one of your videos and found out you're a Norwich fan. Yes, indeed. My heart goes out to you. That takes strength. Yeah, we're just top 26. We're just not top 20. We'll go back down to the championship, or we'll be back in the playoffs or back in the top 2. We will yo-yo up and down until we find a little way of making it right for us. What's your most unpopular opinion? Apparently that Mercedes aren't doing anything wrong, because if you look at today's video, which I just had a little gander over at it, it's absolutely bang. It's one of my it's my top performing video ever after 7 hours with 4,000 views. But at the same time, few of the comments are not too happy with my opinion. So probably that I think Mercedes haven't done too much wrong. I know that it's a flexible, like lots of people are saying it's flexible aero, but for me, I don't know if the suspension counts as part of the aero package. I think they've just been very, very clever. Unpopular opinion, Albon better than Gasly. Zeta, you've lost me, I'm afraid. No. What do you think of the chance of Daniel Ricciardo winning a championship before he retires? He's 32, but I love him, a real chap. I think if he'd have stayed at Red Bull, and this might be, maybe this is my unpopular opinion, I think if he'd have stayed at Red Bull, as much as they favoured Max Verstappen, I think he'd have had a shot at a title, like probably this season, to be fair. In the same way that Verstappen has been up there, I think Ricciardo would have probably been up there too in the Red Bull, but I can't see him winning a championship with McLaren, and I don't know if there'll be, you know, the want for him to move somewhere else after he decides he wants to leave McLaren. So I don't think so, unfortunately, mate. I don't think Daniel Ricciardo is going to win a championship, and I think that is a shame because he is a wonderful, wonderful driver. He's a great guy to have on the grid. He's wonderful for the sport, but possibly not quite good enough to get it up to all the way to the top of a championship. At least not being an Arsenal fan. Yeah, I'm definitely not an Arsenal fan. Although I do like Erdegaard, I do like Emil Smith-Rowe. I quite like what Arteta's trying to do. I just think lots of people won't be patient enough for it to actually come off. Sadie's back in. How is everybody? I'm fine, thank you, Sadie. I hope you're having a good one. It's a bit of a late night for us, so I hope you've got yourself set up, you're ready. This is the kind of race that I'd usually, you know, lay down on the sofa and fall asleep during, so hopefully you're watching 5 different things right now. Sadie, you've smashed it. Good video, by the way. Thank you, mate. I appreciate it. As I said, it's absolutely rocketed. So the YouTube algorithm is also a fan. And we're edging ever closer towards 4,000 subscribers. So hopefully we can hit 4,000 subscribers, possibly on the stream right now. If you haven't subscribed, we're at 3,988. So we are 12 away from 4K. And that is insane considering, like, just the madness that is YouTube. And I never thought I'd get 1,000 subscribers, let alone 2, 3, and now possibly even 4. So goodness gracious me. Okay, we've got qualifying in 20 seconds for me. What shall we have? Shall we have the track on the screen just for me, because I'm not too au fait with this one. So I'll just pop it up on the screen, mainly for myself, so I can remember the layout during free practice, during qualifying session 1, and then we'll pop up the drivers and constructors for 2 and 3. Is Red Bull's car really better than Mercedes? I feel they've been pretty equal, or even Red Bull car is slower. What's your opinion? It's sort of flip-flopped, hasn't it? The first 3-4 races of the season, well, maybe Bahrain, really, Max Verstappen could have won that. So I think, you know, we've got 3 races where the Mercedes was really, really good. And then the Red Bull's probably been better since then. Sort of thinking Monaco onwards, I think, is sort of Red Bull territory. And then it sort of had a turning point just after sort of Zandvoort towards Russia, that kind of time. There's been sort of a turning point back to Mercedes being the more dominant car, hasn't it? So it has sort of flipped between the two. For the majority of the season, though, it has been Red Bull. Max Verstappen's won more races than anybody else. He's led more laps than everybody else on the field combined. You know, the Red Bull has looked the better car for the majority of the season. It's just now it's getting towards the crunch time. I think maybe the Mercedes does look the better package, which if you're a Max Verstappen fan, is not good at all. Here we go, though. Got 16 minutes and 34 seconds left in qualifying 1. Max Verstappen getting a Big cheer as he comes out of the garage and out of the pit lane through turn 1, turn 2, and turn 3. Big Max following in the United States, possibly. Obviously, his colours, red, white, and blue. You're going to the Mexico GP, Nathaniel. I'm incredibly jealous. Nice. How did you get tickets for that? Do you live close? Is that like the closest Grand Prix for you? Or is it just because you wanted to go to that one in particular? Because if I could pick any Grand Prix to go to, it would probably be Canada or Singapore. Canada or Singapore. But the closest ones for me are obviously Silverstone and Zandvoort, probably. Or France. France is fairly close to me too. But I could get to those 3 moderately easily in comparison to the rest. So yeah, why Mexico? Just because it's the closest, or because you wanted to go to Mexico in particular? If people taking penalties don't quali, we get Mick in Q2. Yeah, possibly, to be fair. There's a lot of drivers taking taking engine penalties. Oh, can I put the time? Oh, I haven't done the timer. That is a great shout. I will do the timer for Q2. Manev, sorry, mate. Yeah, I completely forgot about the timer. See, already, you can tell it's a late night one. It's a late night one because I've forgotten a crucial part of qualifying. The fact that it is timed. Charles Leclerc then. Watching Formula 1 TV right now with your commentating. Thank you, mate. I appreciate that. I'd love to go to Baku or Spa. Yeah, Spa's a good one. Spa is a very good shout, actually. I don't know about Baku. Bit of a street race. You wouldn't see too much is the problem, I think, with Baku. Not that you see, like, loads. Obviously, you generally see, like, a couple of corners or a straight when you go. But in Baku, it would be very congested. A bit like Monaco, I guess. You'd only really see, like, a very specific part of the track just because there's a lot of other stuff going around. Mick Schumacher has just gone fastest, so I think Mick Schumacher is basically guaranteed to go into Q3 now with a 1:37.2. Mazepin hasn't got his time deleted, so Mick Schumacher, the only car who has set a time. Lance Stroll then goes first fastest, 1:35.9. Just a second ahead of the Haas. God, my goodness me. Charles Leclerc, a 1:35.2, so 7/10 ahead of Stroll. Fairly decent time for Leclerc. He'll probably want to improve on that just a tad before Q2. Max Verstappen then, we're also on board with. He set purple sectors in Sector 1, purple sector in Sector 2 as well. Coming around the last few corners. Up past the pit lane entry, final left-hander for Max Verstappen and a very short run to the line. A 1:34.5, 7/10 ahead of Charles Leclerc and a very good one indeed. If you're in Norwich, Spa would be closer than France. Possibly. It's just whether it would be easier to get to, I was thinking. Because like I know Norwich Airport does direct flights to Paris and does direct flights to Amsterdam. So, like, there's not many countries that you can actually fly to from Norwich, and I don't know if Belgium is one of them. But yeah, Spa geographically probably is closer, yeah. Probably is closer. Always wanted to go, and is my favourite track. Lovely. It's always good when you get the opportunity to go to your favourite track. Like, it's great when you get to go to a Formula 1 race, but it's extra special if you also have, like, a connection to that Grand Prix. So, like, I've been to Silverstone, I've been to Budapest, and, like, both are really, really fun races. And it's wonderful to go to a Formula 1 race just because it is just unlike any other event. But if it was Canada, or if it was Singapore, or, you know, one of those races that I just absolutely love, that would just be extra, extra special. Wow, Mazepin goes 58 seconds slower than Max Verstappen. So a little bit of a margin between Verstappen and Mazepin. I'm sure he can make that up, though, over the course of the 11 minutes and 20 seconds we have left in Q1. Hamilton also not going super quick. Not purple in either of the first couple of sectors. Bottas goes purple in the second sector and is now coming around the final corner. Let's see what Bottas can do. It's only third fastest. It's behind Verstappen and Perez. And it's about a tenth or so behind Verstappen's time. So the Mercedes not looking swift in comparison to the Red Bull right now. Hamilton also comes home only fourth fastest, so slower than his teammate Bottas. Currently, Verstappen, Perez, Bottas, Hamilton is our top four with Leclerc in fifth. But lots of drivers who have not set a lap time yet, so lots still to come. In my opinion, I don't see any problem with Max suspension. I think it's completely fair. Yeah, I'm sort of erring towards that. I don't think Mercedes would do anything stupid at this point in the season. Like, I think they'd have definitely got it checked over and they'd be 100% sure that it is a legal thing, because they would not want to take a penalty at any point in the season, or even, you know, the possibility of having a points deduction or something like that for Lewis Hamilton. That would just absolutely kill them. So they're not going to do something silly, I don't think. And therefore, I just think it's very clever. And, you know, Mercedes have been the guys that innovate every single year. Like, they just manage to find temps where nobody else does. Like, if you think of that DAS system, like, anybody could have thought of that, but it was Mercedes that did it. So, Daniel Ricciardo goes fastest with 9 minutes and 30 seconds left. A 1:34.4, and Lando Norris goes for a 1:34.5. Splits the Red Bulls. Maybe McLaren have got the pace this weekend. They've been hiding that during the free practice sessions because they've come out in qualifying and look absolutely electric. Ricciardo and Norris into the top three with just Verstappen to separate them. We're on board with Sebastian Vettel, though. What's going on here? Oh, and a Haas in the way. I don't know whether it's Mick or Mazepin, but a Haas getting very, very much in the way of Sebastian Vettel. And Sebastian Vettel is not safe at this moment in time. It's currently 10th fastest. Yeah, he's not going to be happy about that. So just Gasly and Latifi yet to set lap times. As I say that, Latifi comes across the line 16th fastest. Raikkonen and Mazepin's times, though, aren't too great. They were obviously doing just another warm-up lap with that sort of time. And Gasly, the man, comes across the line with a 1:35, puts himself 8th fastest right in the middle of the pack, where Gasly likes to be, basically. He just likes to put himself in that middle of the pack, doesn't he? Pretty much every single race. As Ben Stiller is there. Very nice. Here we go then. Ricciardo currently fastest. Our five that are currently out: Alonso, Latifi, Mick Schumacher, Raikkonen, and Mazepin. So quite a few of the big boys, the old boys, in the bottom five. Alonso, Latifi, Raikkonen, Mick Schumacher, and Mazepin are in our bottom five. We're assuming that the Haasers are probably going to stay there. Alonso, though, will not be happy at all with a 16th place start for tomorrow. So he is definitely going to try and improve over the next couple of laps or so. Schumacher then. Can Schumacher get himself in and amongst it for Q2? He's done it a couple of times this season. We'd love to see it again. The Haas comes across the line and not quite good enough. Stays 18th fastest, unfortunately. Going to be your second time going to a track since 2019. Wow, amazing, mate. I am very, very jealous. Verstappen has got the hurry up from Red Bull, puts himself fastest. Of course he does. Just 0.05 of a second ahead of Ricciardo, though. Not too much between them. And Verstappen, though, he does always manage to find a 10th, doesn't he? Just finds a 10th there. Puts himself top of the rankings for Q1. Neither of the Mercedes looking great, by the way. Still 6th and 7th fastest. And, they're not looking like they're going to drop out anytime soon. But they're not looking like they're going to be on pole or even in the top 5 or 6 from the pace of these guys. Ricciardo and Norris look really good in that McLaren. Perez goes 2nd fastest. And only by 100th of a second. Wow, both Red Bulls pretty much identical laps there. As we see Lance Stroll did go off, so his time is going to be deleted. Hello Mallory, how you doing? Nice to see you. Obviously, it's probably a reasonable time for you for the first time this season. It's probably an hour where you should be actually awake. Kimi Räikkönen, also with a time deleted there, goes very wide. It is that last couple of corners where you just have that opportunity to just run it out that little bit wide. And even if you're on an absolute screamer of a lap, you can ruin it for yourself just in that final couple of bends, which is got to be frustrating for the driver, especially if you've got a really good lap hooked up and you just go wide by a couple of inches on that penultimate corner, and then your track time is deleted. The Red Bull's coming back into the garage though. Sergio Perez probably safe with that time, as well as Max Verstappen as well. So not sure whether they'll come back out unless they want to try some different tyres maybe, or try a little bit of a different setup, although they look like they've got it absolutely nailed. It's 5 p.m. there for you. See, there you go. Am I the only one who finds the different McLaren wing weird? Oh, I haven't seen this. What's wrong with the McLaren wing? I've never even noticed this. Have I missed something really obvious about the McLaren wing? Probably. What P is Georgian, currently 14th. So is edging towards being safe, but there are a lot of drivers behind him who would like to have a different say. Oh, you sent me a message on Clubhouse, sorry. I don't know if I've got notifications turned on for Clubhouse. Or if it... Oh, it's because it needs updating. Sorry. I'll update it now. That's probably why it hasn't come through. I'll have a look once that updates. McLaren, the biggest sandbaggers. Here we go. 3 minutes left of Q1. And again, it's just important for you to not be in the bottom 5. Q1 doesn't really mean much to the guys up the front there, but to the likes of Alonso, Ocon, Russell, Stroll, this is going to be a very tense last few minutes. What is that octopus that they keep showing that is like on fire? I don't get it. It's very American, isn't it? Why does it need to be on fire? Why is it an octopus? Why is it in the middle of my Formula 1 track? Let's just accept. Just accept and move on. Wow. The top 5 not out on track. Everybody else is. So Verstappen, Perez, Ricciardo, Norris and Sainz probably feel fairly safe, to be fair. Like they have set some very good lap times between them. Although Bottas and Hamilton, both Mercedes, have come out for another lap. Gasly's out there, Leclerc's out there, Tsunoda actually in the top 10 at this moment in time. So I'll give you a quick rundown. It's Verstappen, Perez, Ricciardo, Norris, Sainz making up our top 5. Then we've got Bottas, Hamilton, Gasly, Leclerc, Tsunoda. And then we've got Vettel, Giovinazzi, Stroll, Russell, Ocon. And Ocon is the man on the button with 1 minute 45 seconds left to go. The Texas Fire Octopus tradition. Again, those words just shouldn't be in a sentence together, but they are. Alonso, Latifi, Schumacher, Raikkonen, and Mazepin are the guys that are out at this moment in time. Now, I do quite like it, actually. It's quite cool. I feel like if I could have a fire octopus, I probably would have one. But wow. Here we go then. The Alpines will not be happy with their pace so far. Ocon on the bubble, Alonso currently out. So both of the Alpines need to do something a little bit special. And currently are coming around the last sector. Again, we're going to end up with a little bit of traffic going around the penultimate corner. I think it might be Stroll leading that at this moment in time. But we're just watching Hamilton going at the moment. And some of the guys... Oh, there is a bit of a jam at turn 19 and turn 20. Lots of cars slowing down there. Yellow flag in turn 1. Who might that be? Nope, green flag again. Not sure what that was for, but there was a yellow flag. It's now gone, so the Alpines will be fairly happy because they're now coming through that sector. We're looking at Hamilton, though. Isn't it awkward how Tsunoda was hyped up and only scoring 18 points? Yeah, but it's his first season. He's a rookie. I feel like we have to give him a little bit of time. He might get a few more points, but yeah, I think where he ends up... Ooh, as George Russell goes 12th fastest, puts himself a little bit of a buffer in there. Got Giovinazzi, Stroll, Ocon, and Alonso all behind him, though, who could improve. Latifi, his teammate, 17th at the moment as well. As the checkered flag goes down, Lewis Hamilton comes across the line, still 6th fastest, can't improve. 2 tenths behind Verstappen in first. Bottas also 7th fastest. Raikkonen comes across the line, only 18th, so Raikkonen is going to be out. Charles Leclerc has gone fastest of anybody, puts himself first with a 1:34.1. Nicholas Latifi goes 15th, knocks Ocon down into the bottom 5, so both Alpines need to improve. We're on board with Ocon. He's coming through the last couple of corners. He's on the penultimate. Turn 19. Is Ocon going to be able to get through there? I'm not sure he is, you know. He's coming around the final turn. It's a 1:30. Ooh, 13th fastest, a 1:35.7 for Ocon. Alonso also does it too, puts himself 14th fastest as well. Giovinazzi is the man on the button then, and Lance Stroll is all eyes on him. Will it be Giovinazzi or will it be Stroll? Vettel goes 10th fastest. Mazepin can't improve on 20th. Mick Schumacher comes across the line, still 19th fastest as well. So it is just Giovinazzi and Stroll. Is Stroll on a flying lap? I haven't seen him. He's in the pits. Not made it through. Even with that exquisite helmet for this weekend, Lance Stroll does not make it through. Wow. Apologies for Lance Stroll fans. Not this time, I'm afraid. He's very frustrated. You can see the annoyance in the cockpit. He is probably going to make up some positions just because of penalties for other drivers, but he will not be happy. Giovinazzi, though, gets himself through. 15th place for Giovinazzi, and let's have a little look at this lap. Oh, he did make a little bit of a mistake. Oh, and does a little spin, actually. It was Giovinazzi into turn 1 that had the yellow flag. So he's probably a little bit lucky that he got through into Q2 because he wasn't able to improve his time. But just about hang on in there, and Giovinazzi gets through. Wow. So both Hasses out, Raikkonen out, Stroll as well. Latifi joins them. The 5 that are gone, you know, it is Q1. You just have to make sure you're not in that bottom 5. We move on to Q2, 15 drivers, and we're going to whittle it down to 10. Again, doesn't matter where you finish in that top 10 as long as you are in that top 10. Also, if you're in the top 10 for Q2, they are the tyres you have to start on. So it's a bit of a weird sort of rule that Formula 1 has. Whichever tyres you do your fastest lap in Q2 on, you also have to start the race on. Okay, so if you're in the top 10, you start on your qualifying 2 tyres. Hey Sally, how you doing? Sorry, I completely missed your message in the chat. Appreciate you stopping by. Thanks for popping in. Today I was like, why is qualifying not started? Then I remembered it's the USA Grand Prix. Yeah, it's a late one. It's a late one. How is Ferrari P1? Yeah, I know. Ferrari look quick. Look quick. I'm impressed with McLaren. Like, Ferrari looked good in the free practice sessions. But McLaren looked pretty dead and buried. And now McLaren look pretty good in qualifying so far. There was a couple of really good laps from Daniel Ricciardo in there. So it could be very interesting to see that battle between Ferrari and McLaren and who comes out on top in qualifying today. Maybe a little bit of an incident between one of those drivers tomorrow. Could we see Leclerc and Norris come together? Or maybe like Sainz and Ricciardo come together? I think that could definitely happen. They're battling for that 3rd place in the Constructors' Championship, and there's not a lot between them. Also, Carlos Sainz and Charles Leclerc battling for 6th and 7th in the Drivers' Championship as well. So those two are going to have an eye on each other. And there could be a little bit of a to and fro between them. Oh, I forgot to do the timer. I'm going to do the timer. Because Vanessa reminded me halfway through. We're back. I've set it up. Just got to click play when it goes. Oh. Let's go Mercedes-Benz. That is all. Yeah, Mercedes, like, not looking as quick as I thought they were going to, considering all the contention around them. And obviously lots of people talking about the engines, lots of people talking about the flexi suspension. I was expecting them to come out and just be like really quick. But I don't know. Going to be a shocker in Q2, I reckon. I think both Alpines look pretty dead and buried. Considering, you know, I think the problem is 8 spots look pretty much sealed, right? Verstappen and Perez are definitely through. You'd imagine Hamilton and Bottas are definitely through. Sainz and Leclerc look really quick, the Ferraris in general. And now, in that last session, the McLarens look really quick too. So you're looking at 8 spots pretty much signed, sealed, delivered. Now, who fills the other 2 is the interesting thing. You know, is it an Alpine? Is it Gasly? Gasly's been really quick in qualifying. You'd imagine that he's going to have his name on one of those 2 spots that's left. So, 1 spot left in Q3. George Russell will have an eye on it. Sebastian Vettel will have an eye on it. I'm not sure, you know. It's going to be very close between those guys. And Q2, this could be like one of the most dramatic Q2s we see in a while. Here we go then. We are underway. The Mercedes straight out of the garage. Hamilton and Bottas come out together on the medium compound tyre, I think they're on. Yes, indeed. They are on the medium compound tyre. Now, we do want to see them get through this top 10. Again, you don't have to be fastest in Q2. You just have to be in the top 10 fastest. But I agree with Turan. I think we might see a bit of a shocker here. Because it's very competitive. As I said, it should, like, realistically, there should only be really 1 place up for grabs. So we will see. I'll pop the little timer up. Here you go. I forgot that. I forgot it again. Went and sorted it. Forgot it again. Bottas and Hamilton fairly close to each other. So maybe Hamilton looking for a little bit of a slipstream from his teammate. But here we go. Team Mercedes, let's go. Lots of Mercedes fans in the chat today. Lots of Mercedes. I didn't realize you guys were such big Mercedes fans. Here we go. Bottas and Hamilton coming around. Who's that in front of them? Is that a Williams out in front? Is that Russell? Yeah, Russell's come out first. Sorry, I completely missed Russell coming out of the pits. And then I've just seen that he's in the final corner with his sheriff's helmet for this weekend. Again, I'm not sold on the George Russell helmet. Not sold on the George Russell helmet this weekend. And that's a bit controversial. We do all love George Russell, but not so sure. Haas both Q3 free passes right home track. Yeah, that would be good. If you got one wild card a season where you're just allowed to play your wild card and put one driver automatically through into Q3, that'd be good. I feel like Haas would need it. George Russell goes fastest in the first sector of anybody of the one driver who has set a time through the first sector. Valtteri Bottas instantly goes purple though in the first sector behind him. Can George Russell be the man to get that one spot, in my opinion, that is left in the top 10? We will have to wait and see. He's going to be first across the line here. And we'll see what kind of time we are expecting from the Williams man. Obviously, his teammate Nicholas Latifi already out, joining Stroll, Raikkonen, and both Hasses in the bottom 5. Here we go then. George Russell, fastest in the middle sector. Then Bottas goes fastest in the middle sector as well. Verstappen coming around on his lap, though, has just gone fastest in the first sector. So still looking quicker than the Mercedes, even with Hamilton just behind his teammate and getting a little bit of a tow. Valtteri Bottas is coming around the final sector now then. And let's see what kind of time he can put in. Gets past a little bit of traffic there, I think, in Sonoda. And around the final corner, a 1:33.9 from Bottas. But Verstappen has gone quickest in the first sector. Hamilton goes fastest in the third sector and goes for a 1:33.7. So let's see then. George Russell must have had his time deleted or didn't finish the lap. But Verstappen goes quickest, a 1:33.4. A third of a second ahead of Hamilton and 5/10 ahead of Bottas as well. Just pure dominance from Verstappen here in qualifying so far. Perez only goes 4th fastest. Can't quite get the same pace as his teammate and does, 4th fastest. A couple attempts behind Lewis Hamilton there. So interesting. Verstappen getting a big lead over Hamilton though. Leclerc splits the Mercedes, goes 3rd fastest with just 10 minutes left to go in this session. Gasly goes 5th fastest, and Perez's time is deleted. Track limits at turn 19. As I said, that penultimate corner is going to catch a lot of people out. Ricciardo goes only 5th fastest. Norris goes 3rd fastest, faster than Leclerc as well for Lando Norris there. Really good showing from him. Daniel Ricciardo's time, though, does get deleted, so Gasly jumps up to 6th fastest. Ocon goes 7th. Alonso 8th, but everyone behind everyone behind Alonso yet to do a time, although Sainz comes across the line and goes 6th fastest. Sonoda splits the Alpines, goes slightly slower than Ocon, but much quicker than Alonso. Let's have a look then. Sergio Perez going around the penultimate corner, turn 19. Does both tyres go across the white line? Yes, just the tiniest little bit across the line. Literally talking maybe 2 or 3 inches across the line from Sergio Perez there. But that is all you need for your time not to count anymore. Did Daniel Ricciardo do a similar sort of thing? He did indeed. Also, only by about an inch. But Daniel Ricciardo's time also deleted. Remember, we need to get into the top 10. If you get into the top 10 in this session, put yourself through into Q3. The bottom 5, so 11th through to 15th, will be out, and they will be set for tomorrow's qualifying for the grid. So Perez, Ricciardo, Russell, Vettel, Giovinazzi currently are bottom 5 with just over 8 minutes to go. Zach Brown there, the CEO of McLaren Racing, with his brand new Monza tattoo. So, brand new Monza tattoo in commemoration for that first win for Daniel Ricciardo. We're on board as well in the Mercedes garage, looking at Lewis Hamilton's car, possibly a little change of tyres. Another set of medium compound tyres, or are they going to go for maybe a softer compound to try and force themselves through? I think that they should be fine anyway. But we'll have to sort of wait and see. Max Verstappen also in the garage. Will he have to go out again? Currently fastest with 7.5 minutes left to go, but don't know if he'll need to go out again, set another time. 1:33.4 seems like it will be pretty safe to me. It's Perez, Ricciardo, Russell, Vettel and Giovinazzi, the guys that are under a little bit of pressure. Charles Leclerc also in the garage at this moment in time. 4th fastest in the Ferrari. And currently as well on the medium compound tyre. Carlos Sainz actually went on the softer compound tyre. Can only get 6th fastest. Tsunoda also on the soft compound tyre. Only 9th fastest. And Alonso rounds out the top 10. But a poor lap time from Alonso. 13 seconds behind Verstappen. So finished his lap, but not in style, unfortunately. Perez, Ricciardo, Russell, Vettel, and Giovinazzi are the bottom 5. All 5 of them yet to set a time. So, obviously, we know George Russell, Ricciardo, and Perez had their lap times deleted. I don't know if I saw Sebastian Vettel come out onto the track, you know. He is going to be taking a penalty for an engine change this weekend, so maybe he's just decided not to bother with Q2. But Sebastian Vettel, I don't remember seeing coming out. 6 minutes left to go then, and we're just sort of waiting. I think everybody is just waiting to see what is going to happen. Let's have a little look then at what's going on the paddock. By the way, we're now 10 subscribers from 4,000. Let's see if we can get 10 more subscribers. If you're not subscribed to the channel, today is the day. Now is the time. We're 10 subscribers away from 4K. I would love to be able to celebrate 4K subscribers tomorrow during the US Grand Prix. That would just be a poetic way to celebrate 4,000 subscribers, because I have a big US contingent in my fan base as well, and it'd be lovely to have your home Grand Prix, me on 4,000 subscribers, and everybody in a very, very good mood. 5 minutes left to go then in this session, and finally we're getting cars back on track. Is Sergio Perez all on his own? Obviously has qualified in the top 10 a lot recently, but hasn't done much better than sort of 9th or 10th, I want to say, in the last couple of races. Oh no, what was he last time? I think he was 7th in Turkey, but then I think before that it was like 9ths and 10ths. So Sergio Perez will be hoping to do a little bit better today. Max Verstappen has taken his entire front wing off of his car. So whether he'll be going back out again is to be seen, as they're giving the car a little bit of a spit polish. Sainz has been better and better, has been the better man at Ferrari. I mean, currently, yeah, just by 0.5 of a point though, so it's going to be very, very close in the Ferrari garage. Charles Leclerc, remember, has got a couple of pole positions this season as well. But yeah, I'd probably agree that Carlos Sainz has been the better driver in more of the races. But Charles Leclerc has been a little bit more consistent, I guess, because, you know, Charles Leclerc hasn't got... No, Charles Leclerc's got a podium this season, right? I think just one, though, whereas Carlos Sainz got a couple, so... tricky. Wow, Max Verstappen is a very quick time, 1:33.4, isn't it? Sergio Perez, though, starting his flying lap on the medium compound tyres, number 11, currently 11th as well, and want to do better. Needs to get into the top 10, remember. You just have to be in the top 10 to get through into Q3. So let's see what Perez can do. A fairly decent first sector. Goes green, so nothing mind-blowing from Sergio Perez, but a very good lap time to begin with. Can he gain some time in the second sector on his teammate who currently sits on first place? Let's see how many seconds he is behind Verstappen. So he's 4 tenths behind Verstappen, just leading the second sector. And the final third sector for Sergio Perez will decide where he comes in that top 10. I think he's going to be fairly comfortably in the top 10. It's just whereabouts he will sit. Needs to make sure he does this final sector well. Gets 19 done. Very clean. Doesn't want to go off the track. Good. Keeps it within the lines this time. And 20. Keeps it within the lines too. Goes across the line. Is 7th fastest. A 1:34.1. Is he gearing up for another flying lap? You'd expect him to maybe do a lap now and then do one more flying lap before the end. Although you're taking a bit of chunk out of those tyres if you're Sergio Perez. But then again, if you're Sergio Perez, are you really worried about wearing your tyres down when you can make literally tyres last the entire race? Probably not. Here we go then. Daniel Ricciardo also starting his flying lap. Now, he's got 1 minute 30 on the clock, so he might be able to get another lap in if he does really well this lap. But obviously, if he does really well this lap, he might not need to put in another lap time. So he's going to be right on the nose as to whether or not he gets 2 shots at this or just 1. He's 3 tenths down on Verstappen just through that first sector, though. But again, doesn't matter. Just needs to be in the top 10, does Daniel Ricciardo, and get himself through into Q3 for tomorrow. You don't want to be in that bottom 5. Currently, the bottom 5, Alonso, Ricciardo, Russell, Giovinazzi, and Vettel. And it's going to be very close to see who gets into that 10th place spot. You'd imagine Daniel Ricciardo will get through fairly comfortably, although he is 4 tenths faster than Tsunoda's time at this point, so is 4 tenths faster than the current 10th place driver. Where can Daniel Ricciardo put himself in this top 10? Needs to put himself somewhere safe if he's not going to get another lap in. I think he probably will get another lap in. He's got about 15 seconds or so left to do these final couple of corners. So if he wants to, he could try and go again. But we'll have to wait and see whether he needs to or not. It's not great, is it? 9th place there from Ricciardo. Will he go for another lap? Possibly. Giovinazzi is out. Goes 12th fastest of the guys there. Alonso is also going to be out. A 1:44.5. Ocon only 10th fastest. So Yuki Tsunoda has the opportunity to knock out Ocon. Is he going to be able to do it around the final couple of corners? Will it be the AlphaTauri of Yuki Tsunoda in 10th? It is! Yuki Tsunoda gets himself into that top 10. So it is both of the AlphaTauris. Ocon out in 11th. Giovinazzi, Alonso, Vettel, and Russell not setting times. So it is Yuki Tsunoda, the man who fills in that final gap. I told you, both Ferraris will get through, both McLarens, both Red Bulls, both Mercedes, and Pierre Gasly. And then who fills in that 10th spot? It is Yuki Tsunoda, meaning both AlphaTauris get through too. Wonderful stuff. Really wonderful stuff. Love that Zach got a tap just because the win being special, yet none for Cyril. Yeah. Poor Cyril. Poor Cyril. He tried his best, did Cyril. But I feel like he was a bit heartbroken when Daniel Ricciardo left him, wasn't he? And it was never going to be the same. It was never going to be the same. Poor Cyril. Oh, Vettel did do a time, but Vettel only went 12th fastest, so didn't really matter. Didn't really matter. We have our top 10 then. Both Red Bulls, both Mercedes, both Ferraris, both McLarens, and both Alpha Tauris are our top 10. Let me know then in the chat, who do you think is going to take pole position? It's looking like it's going to be a fairly easy pole position for Max Verstappen, if you ask me, but you never know. Lewis Hamilton is one of those drivers that just seems to be able to find some time when he needs to. And it'd be pretty funny considering all the talk that has gone on about Mercedes this weekend and whether they're cheating or not, to then also not get pole position. Would be pretty impressive. Back-to-back Tsunoda Q3. He's a different driver. Yeah, Turan, you're right. I think he's finally just, I was going to say because he's got the guaranteed contract for next year, but then he had the contract guaranteed and then still had quite a few poor races. I think just maybe, I don't know, something's clicked for him, hasn't it? Something is clicked. And I think next season we're going to see a different Tsunoda. I hope he can pick up a few more points before the end of the season, just to put himself fairly safe and maybe even catch up to Stroll. I really don't want him to drop behind Russell. I think that would be not embarrassing, obviously, because Russell's been phenomenal, but Yuki Tsunoda will be a little bit disappointed, I think, if he drops behind a Williams, considering how poorly Williams started the season. Who else have we got? We've got Mazepin and Schumacher to have a look at next season too, though, haven't we? So get the timer set up for the... Oh. Wait, what have I done? I've gone for 11 seconds. 11 minutes even. No. Stop. Start. I've broken it. That's a minute too long. Okay. Stop. Start. I'm trying to read it from Mal. Right, you know what? We'll start it at 10 minutes 56. Yesterday was your birthday. Happy birthday, Jocker. I never know how to say your name, so I just always sort of appreciate you being there without ever directly addressing you by name. But Jocker FF, happy birthday, mate. I hope you got some good stuff. What did you get? What was your best gift? I feel like it's always a good question. A tricky question. Does anything save Gio at this point? Probably not. Lovely stuff. Vettel's just happy to be in front of Alonso, in front of Vettel. As a McLaren fan, doing a shoey in the stands for Daniel Ricciardo getting into Q3. Does anything save Gio? I don't know, right? Should we have a look at the 2022 lineup so far? Hamilton-Russell is very interesting. Like, I'm looking forward to that a lot. Verstappen-Perez still at Red Bull, I think will be quite fun too. I think Perez with a year behind him will feel a lot more comfortable in that car. And could possibly, make some waves. Leclerc and Sainz, by far and away the best pairing on the grid for me. I think they're good. Oh, I see. Alonso was trying to give a toe for Ocon, but didn't quite get through. Only 11th place. Really good teamwork between the Alpines and just not quite enough to get through into Q3 though. That's unfortunate. Would have been nice to see that little bit of teamwork come off for them, but not quite. Alonso and Ocon, though, will still be teammates next year in 2022. Gasly, Tsunoda, Vettel and Stroll. We've got Latifi and Albon in Williams. I'm interested to see what Albon does, and I've got a couple of videos coming up on Albon and him at Williams, especially when it comes to the early testing. I think will be interesting to see where he's at, how comfortable he is with the car. We've got Bottas confirmed at Alfa Romeo, but we do not know who is going to be his teammate. Will it be Giovinazzi? Will it be somebody else? We will have to wait and see. 6 races left in this season to go, though. And Alfa Romeo will probably want to be making their mind up fairly soon, you'd imagine, getting themselves set for 2022. And we know that Mick Schumacher and Mazepin are going to stay for at least one more year together at Haas. I'm sure Mick Schumacher probably would have liked to move away from the Haas team, but we'll have to wait and see. 30 seconds until qualifying 3 begins then for me. How many? 29 likes on the stream. Well, you know, we need at least one more like. So if you haven't liked the stream, pop a little like. Get that over the 30 threshold as we go out. Oh, we've got Mercedes coming out early. They're probably just coming out at just the right time where they won't have to stop at the end of the pit lane, but coming out very, very early in this Q3 session. We are underway. They are going to get the green light at the end of the pits, and they'll be away. Both McLarens coming out too, and the AlphaTauris and the Red Bulls. So lots of people coming out very early in Q3, maybe trying to get a good idea. Does the Andretti rumor change anything or influence them at all? I mean, if that rumor is true and they are going to switch, then I mean they'll probably want to get an Andretti driver in. You know what I mean? So they'll probably have different ideas, and Andretti will probably have someone in mind that maybe Alfa Romeo don't, and that's maybe why they're waiting to see what's going to happen with the team before they confirm the drivers. Although you'd imagine that Bottas will be privy to this kind of thing. Oh no, I forgot to click play. You'll imagine that Bottas will be fairly privy to this kind of thing, because he's already committed to the team, so he'll probably know what's what. Have you watched Squid Game? I think everyone in the world has watched Squid Game at this point. I think it's just become an absolute phenomenon. Yeah, I watched it. It came up as like my top recommended thing on Netflix, so I just watched it pretty much as soon as it dropped on Netflix. I think so did everybody. So I felt like I was like ahead of the game a little bit, and then I realized that everyone had watched it. So here we go then. Max Verstappen, as Hamilton is told on the radio that the wind is picking up. It's very windy, bit of a crosswind through the main bulk of the track as well, and a headwind down the main straight. So clearly the wind being a little bit of an issue for Mercedes. Again, this is why we need indoor races. There wouldn't be rain, there would not be wind. It would be almost impossible to do, but an indoor race would be pretty cool. Here we go then. Lewis Hamilton is gonna be our man to kick off these 9 minutes left in Q3. You're Korean and you haven't watched Squid Game, I think that might be illegal. I think it's by law you have to have watched Squid Game, especially if you're Korean, because you can watch it without subtitles and you can just appreciate it for what it is. I have to sit there and read for the entirety of it. Funny that they do come in same year as Roman becomes the new full-time Indy team driver. Yeah. What's been happening in quali? Nothing yet. Nothing yet. So we're a couple of minutes into Q3, sort of 3 or 4 minutes, and therefore the first drivers are now coming around with their first flying lap time. So Hamilton is actually going to be the first one across the line. Has gone fastest first sector, even though Bottas and Norris have also done the first sector too. So Hamilton doing pretty good. Bottas goes faster than Hamilton in the second sector though. So it is flip-flopping between the two Mercedes drivers. Be interesting to see who comes out on top as Hamilton comes through turn 19, down towards turn 20, the left-hander, and then a very short sprint to the line. It's Hamilton with a 1:33.5. Not too bad at all, but not super quick either from Lewis Hamilton. We'll probably see him improve on that. Bottas does improve on that straight away, a 1:33.4. But again, they are now on the soft tyres, so we may be expecting a little bit more. Lando Norris goes for a 1:34 dead, and is the third driver to come across the line of 3. So, Lando Norris though. There's a bump and a bruise, and he gets on the curb maybe a little bit. I'm not sure. Something goes wrong with Lando Norris. A little bit of wind movement, rocking the car and creating some sparks. I'm sure there's will be some beautiful pictures of that with his wonderful USA helmet as well, Lando Norris. Bottas is currently quickest. Hamilton second. Carlos Sainz goes third fastest and gets in front of both of the McLarens. Ricciardo is ahead of Norris though, and Leclerc jumps in front still. So it's currently Bottas, Hamilton, and Verstappen goes fastest. Delete that. It's Verstappen fastest, Bottas second, Hamilton third. Perez goes faster than his teammate. A 1:33.1. Sergio Perez. Could this be a Perez pole in front of the Mexican fans? They've gone absolutely wild for it. Sergio Perez looking excellent in that Red Bull. Goes fastest in the third sector on those soft compound tyres. Who said Sergio Perez isn't very good at qualifying? He goes fastest with 6 minutes left to go in this session. Verstappen second fastest, Bottas, Hamilton, Sainz, Leclerc, Ricciardo, Norris, and the two Alpha Tauris, Gasly in front of Tsunoda. Is Mercedes suspension seeming to be helping them here? It was supposedly in FP1. I don't know whether maybe Red Bull have found a way to counteract and come back at Mercedes, but doesn't seem to be helping them too much today, does it? Because they are behind both of the Red Bulls. Perez and Verstappen are currently 1-2. Remember, Bottas has got a 5-place penalty as well. So Bottas currently starting 8th if it finishes like this. Hamilton in 4th. Carlos Sainz rounds out the top 5. He'll start next to Charles Leclerc. Ricciardo and Norris will start on the 4th row of the grid together. And Gasly and Tsunoda will be just in the points positions in 9th and 10th. So we're pretty much 2 by 2. It's like a Noah's Ark grid at this moment in time. It's the 2 Red Bulls, the 2 Mercedes, 2 Ferraris, 2 McLarens, and then the 2 Alpha Tauri. It's just a shame that Bottas has got a grid penalty and is going to drop back down the order. Didn't think Perez would ever be faster than Max in qualifying. It's not over yet. How long have we got? 5 minutes to go. It isn't over yet, but currently he is just 0.02 of a second ahead of his teammates. There is not a lot in it, and there's only 4 minutes left of this session, so it makes you wonder if they're going to go back out. They've got a pretty quick turnaround for Sergio Perez as he's come into the pits now, is in the garage with 4.5 minutes left to go. Now, who is going to blink first? Who is going to go out on a limb and go for it? Red Bull will have a strategy advantage if Max and Perez are at the sharp end. Most definitely. That's the thing that they've really been lacking this year, right? That's the thing that lots of people have said might cost Max Verstappen this championship. The fact that Hamilton and Bottas are almost able to double team Verstappen for most of the races this season. But now it's looking like Sergio Perez is going to put himself in and amongst it. Sergio Perez has come to play at his almost home Grand Prix. Obviously, his home Grand Prix in Mexico coming up very, very soon. but the USA Grand Prix as close as he's going to be to his home without being in Mexico. It's the South American in him, the American time zones. It's finally clicking for Sergio Perez. He's going to be electric here in the USA. He's going to be wonderful in Mexico, I'm sure, in front of his home crowd. I'd love to see Sergio Perez get a win in Mexico. I know that it's so unlikely with Hamilton and Verstappen like battling out for this title, but wouldn't you just love to see Sergio Perez on the top step of the podium in front of the Mexican fan? Like, that would just be just something special. Here we go then. 3 minutes left to go. Bottas and Hamilton are out. I think that's Gasly behind them. And then both of the McLarens, both of the Ferraris. Tsunoda is out as well. And I think, is that Sergio Perez or Max Verstappen coming out of the pits? One of the two of them, both of them coming out of the pits together, actually. So, ooh. Wow. McLaren are worried about rain coming in at turn 1. We've only got 2.5 minutes left, lads. How quick do you think this rain is just going to appear from? Surely you'll be fine. Let's see how we go then. 2 minutes left. Will Bottas and Hamilton get 2 laps in? Probably not. It would be just the 1 lap from Hamilton and Bottas. Bottas now coming around turn 18 towards the penultimate corner. So actually, Bottas might get 2 laps in if he wants to. Let's see. He's going to come around the final corner. And he's going to come across the line with 1 minute 40 left to go. 1 minute 43 left to go. So Bottas is going to be able to get 2 laps in if he wants. Lewis Hamilton, though, is not. Comes across the line with 1 minute 30 on the clock. So Lewis Hamilton, this is his final attempt at a flying lap. Then obviously the McLarens and Ferraris behind him as well will be coming around very, very soon. Let's see then, can we break this Noah's Ark pattern that we've got in qualifying in the final minute here? Lewis Hamilton, not quite quicker. Goes yellow in the first sector. So does Bottas, so they can't quite improve on what they're aiming for. Let's see then. Bottas as well. We're looking at his onboard. Both of them, McLarens, they just look a little bit out of shape, don't they? Don't make me get my Mercedes-Benz hood ornament out. Lewis Hamilton goes purple in the second sector. This is what I mean. Lewis Hamilton just manages to find a way, doesn't he? Always, every single time, he always manages to find a way. He goes purple in the second sector and gains quite considerably on Sergio Perez. So let's see what he can do in the final sector as we go right down to the wire in Q3. The checkered flag is going to come down any second now as Lewis Hamilton is going to come across the line and goes fastest. Wow, by 600ths of a second. Max Verstappen, though, has gone fastest in the first sector, but he does put himself on provisional pole. Gasly only goes 9th fastest, can't improve on his time too much. Lando Norris jumps in front of Charles Leclerc in 6th place at this moment in time, but obviously they are still going to be coming across the line. Carlos Sainz consolidates his 5th place in front of Norris. Let's see then, can Max Verstappen gain on his teammate or on Lewis Hamilton? Daniel Ricciardo goes faster than Lando Norris, will start in 6th place, and Charles Leclerc goes faster than them all in 5th place now. So both Ferraris faster than both McLarens, but all focus is on Max Verstappen. He comes around the penultimate corner, the final corner. Max Verstappen comes across the line, it's fastest, a 1:32.9. And Sergio Perez comes across the line 3rd fastest. Can't improve too much on his time. It's Verstappen, Hamilton, Perez, as our top three. Bottas in 4th place will start in 9th, has a 5-place penalty. Charles Leclerc, Carlos Sainz, Daniel Ricciardo, Lando Norris, Gasly, and Tsunoda is how it finished. So both Ferraris will start ahead of both McLarens. It's hotting up for 3rd in the Constructors' Championship. Wow, what qualifying. Sergio Perez looked good. Really, really good. And looked like he might have been on pole. But Verstappen and Hamilton, those two just know how to find time when they need it. Hamilton looked good, put himself on provisional pole, but it's Max Verstappen who manages to just sneak in front of Lewis Hamilton and puts himself on top. That is a great lap from Max Verstappen, and he's very appreciative to the Red Bull guys. He knows how important that is in the Drivers' Championship battle. He knows that he's only got a 6-point lead and needs to keep that lead extended and extended. Wow, what a qualifying session. Well worth getting up for, yeah, Manev. Well worth staying up for that qualifying session. Max Verstappen, another pole position this season. Can he be stopped in this battle for the Constructors' Championship? Can he be stopped in the battle for the Drivers' Championship with Red Bull? Lewis Hamilton, 2nd place. But Hamilton will be looking at Max Verstappen tomorrow. Will want to get in front of his title rival as quickly as he possibly can. Comes in though and slots himself in front of the number 1 plate. And his teammate Sergio Perez will be starting right behind him in 3rd as well. Max just about holding on. Still holding out for a Danny win though. I mean, the Ferraris looking very, very quick. I think the McLarens have got a little bit of a battle on their hands tomorrow if they're going to keep 3rd place in the in the Constructors' Championship. Both of the Ferraris starting in front of them. And we're now going to see 2 Red Bulls against 1 Mercedes. Bottas, with that grid penalty, is going to drop down a little bit. Sergio Perez and Max Verstappen can now start to strategize against Lewis Hamilton tomorrow. So it's a bit of an opposite as to what we're used to, or what people were sort of expecting, I guess. But Sergio Perez does it. Very, very consistent from him. Lewis Hamilton, obviously still with his helmet on, but walking with purpose towards the grid area, and will obviously go and get himself interviewed as quickly as possible by the looks of things, so that he can hide away until tomorrow and the race. He'll have his eyes on 1st place though tomorrow. Maybe it was the wind, maybe it was just that the flexi rear end wasn't as good as they were hoping, but my goodness me. Let's have a look then at the schedule for tomorrow. I realised the other day, I put the local times on here and not the actual UK times. So I made a mistake there. So tomorrow is going to be a little bit later than what it says. It's going to be 8 o'clock UK time that the race starts. I'll be live from 7:30, which is apparently 3:30 track time. So be aware, be ready and raring to go. We've got 31 likes on the stream. Beautiful stuff. Thank you so much. 3,990 subscribers on a day that has seen a video of absolutely cataclysmic nature for the channel. 4,500 views on that. Absolutely amazing. Thank you all for your support. I need to go and see what Mallory has sent me on Clubhouse. So we're going to have to leave it there. So I can go and do that. But feels weird not being up early, having the rest of the day after a race ahead of me. It feels weird that I'm now going to bed directly after qualifying. Do you reckon it will get heated into turn 1 again? Oh, most definitely, Adam. I cannot wait for tomorrow. It's going to be very heated into turn 1. What other stuff have we got to say? Thank you so much for watching. Thank you all for your support, continued support. Thank you to everybody who joined me on Twitch earlier today. Thank you to everybody who's liked and subscribed recently. We're getting ever closer to 4,000. Hopefully we'll hit that 4,000 by tomorrow and we can have a little celebration on stream during the race tomorrow afternoon. If you do want to support the channel, there's links to my Twitter, my Instagram, my Patreon down in the description, and also my link for Freetrade. If you want to get involved in Freetrade and you want to help out the stream as well, you get a free stock worth up to £200. Of course, your investments could go up or down. It is your money at risk, but a free stock for £200, can't really go wrong with that. Just be careful. Do, of course, invest your money carefully. Don't invest anything that you can't afford to lose effectively. Okay. Thank you so much for watching. Leave a like, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I will see you next time.